Summary of In the Time of the Butterflies by Julia Alvarez. The book is set in the Dominican Republic in 1994, during the time when Trujillo was in power. In 1994, Didi Mirabal lives in the house where her three older sisters once lived. The sisters who died are called butterflies, and they are considered saints and national heroes. In the year 1994, Didi has a talk with an interviewer about her sisters, and during this conversation, her story is broken up by memories. From 1943 until their deaths in 1960, the story switches between Didi's memories, Minerva's point of view, Patria's point of view, and Maria Teresa's diary notes. Minerva talks Papa into letting them go to a Catholic school, where she meets Sanita, a girl whose family was killed by Trujillo. Minerva sees Trujillo woo and dump Lena Lovaton, a girl at her school. Patria is the most holy sister, and she wants to become a nun until she finds out she's gay. At age 16, she marries a farmer named Pedrito and has two children, a son named Nelson and a girl named Norris. Her next child, however, dies in the womb. This makes her doubt her faith, and a picture of Trujillo next to a picture of Jesus affects her the most. Didi falls in love with a young communist student named Virgilio Morales, but Virgilio ends up going out with Minerva instead. Didi ends up marrying her cousin Jaimito, and Virgilio has to leave the country because of the Trujillo government. Minerva finds out one day that Papa has a lover and 3 kids with her. Trujillo invites Papa to a party he's throwing, where he tries to get Minerva to fall in love with him and she tries to get him to let her go to law school. The Mirabals leave after she hits him. The next day, Papa is taken into custody and questioned. Trujillo wants to have a private conference with Minerva, but she says no. Papa is finally set free, and Minerva and Trujillo have another fight of wills when they run into each other again. Papa dies 4 years later, and Minerva starts law school. There, she meets Manolo, who is also a rebel, and they get married. She gets her diploma, but at the last minute, the government takes away her license. This is Trujillo's way of getting back at her. Minerva and Manolo move in together, and Maria Teresa, who goes by the nickname Mate, stays with them. Mate falls in love with a young man who brings guns to Minerva and calls her by her name in the anti-Trujillo movement, Mariposa, Butterfly. Mate joins Minerva and Manolo's secret rebel group and marries Leandro, the young man. Until her son Nelson wants to join Minerva's rebels, Patria stays out of it. The church doesn't support or oppose Trujillo, but when Patria is on a religious retreat in the mountains, she sees Trujillo's forces killing young rebels. She is traumatized by this, so she and her priest join Minerva's secret group and start the 14th of June movement. Minerva, Maria Teresa, and Patria are now known as the Butterflies. The group stocks up on guns at Patria's house. The sisters ask Didi to join their cause, but she doesn't have the guts to say no when Jaimito tells her to. Then, Trujillo's secret police team, SIM, arrests Pedrito, Nelson, Manolo, Leandro, Minerva, and Mate. Patria stays with Mama and watches as the church finally speaks out against Trujillo. She is able to get Trujillo to forgive Nelson in the end. He tries to forgive Minerva and Mate, but they say no. Mate keeps a record while he is in jail. In it, Minerva stays brave and strong, but Mate starts to break down. To get Leandro to talk, the Sim beat up Mate. The Organization of American States comes to look into the government, and the sisters are put under house arrest until the investigation is over. Butterflies have become national symbols of the fight at this point. A nice driver called Rufino takes them to the jail to see their husbands. On their 4th trip, as the sisters drive down a lonely mountain road, they are surprised. Minerva's story ends, but Didi tells what happened. The sisters and Rufino are killed and then put back in their car, making it look like an accident. But everyone knows that Trujillo killed them, and they are remembered as heroes. In 1994, Didi talks about how Trujillo was overthrown about a year after the Mirabals were killed, and about the bloody uprisings that happened after that. She now lives with her niece Minu, who is Minerva's daughter. She has developed into a type of oracle for the sisters, telling their story to people all over the world.
About the author. Julia Alvarez was born in New York to Dominican parents, and when she was 3 months old, they went back to the Dominican Republic. 10 years later, Alvarez's family had to flee back to the US because Alvarez's father had tried and failed to overthrow the real-life ruler Trujillo, who was a main character in the Time of the Butterflies. Adjusting to life in the US was hard for Alvarez on a cultural and social level, so she began to write fiction and poems and learn more about Dominican society. She got her master's degree in 1975, married Bill Eichner in 1989, and is now the writer-in-residence at Middlebury College. Alvarez is one of the most famous Latina writers of our time. She has written poems, short stories, articles, books for kids, and novels, such as How the Garcia Girls Lost Their Accents. Her writing is generally about how different cultures are linked and about strong female characters.
Hope we summarized it fully and you liked it. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so that we are motivated to create more videos.